Now, there's a full programme of matches in the Football League today, and in the Championship, it's tight at the top. Leeds and Leicester are locked together on 82 points, while Ipswich in third spot are poised to pounce just a point behind. It's been an excellent season for Ipswich, who were playing in League One last season, and I've been speaking to leading goalscorer Conor Chaplin.
I knew we'd be a good side and we'd be a really competitive team in this division. I don't think we were an original League One team. I think that we were showing numbers and playing football that was higher than the level a lot of the times throughout the season in League One. I think we'd probably be in and around the automatic playoff positions for the majority of the season or the whole season. I wouldn't have believed that if you said that at the start of the season. But it hasn't surprised me too much in terms of the way we go about our work.
Tell me about the manager, Kieran McKenna. Has done a fantastic job. When he took over the team, you were 12th in League One. He's lost just 19 of 123 matches. What makes him so successful? You're on the verge now of possibly promotion to the Premier League.
Because he works hard, probably first and foremost. He's the hardest working manager, coach that I've ever had the pleasure of being with and working with closely. His sort of addictive personality to football and to the way he works is commendable, and it's infectious as well. It probably rubs off on all of his staff and the rest of the players here, not just the coaching staff, but analysts, people that really go into detail for the games coming up and learning from the games that we've had previously. I think it's sort of a schooling that we're getting is incredible, and that's probably why the team's improved so much.
You mentioned the staff and you talk about people that do all the analysis and look at videos and give you little clips and everything. And you're 27. I would imagine it's changed greatly in the sort of 10 years that you've been a pro, has it?
Yeah, it has done massively. The whole analyst side of it has come on leaps and bounds. It's so important now to know what you're coming up against. Probably when I first started playing, you didn't know many of the players. Only from playing against them, you didn't know the way that the team was playing, their patterns, their shape. But now you get all the information. And it's crucial now because everyone's really well coached. There's not many clubs with actual non-coaches and just managers. It's just the way that it's going. And that's throughout the whole EFL and Premier League, really. I think you can see that in the last few years, appointments that certain teams have made. It's about coaches rather than managers and things like that.
Last season, Sheffield United and Burnley were promoted. They may well be relegated. Leeds and Leicester were relegated. They may be promoted along with yourselves. That's fascinating how teams sort of go up and down. It's a very thin dividing line, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Obviously, the Premier League's the best league in the world for a number of reasons. There's an enormous amount of money that goes into it. There's a lot of television and things like this. It's a different world in some aspects, definitely. That's why obviously everyone wants to get there as a club, as players individually. It's a dream for everyone to get there. And it's just probably a big gap. I think there's probably a bigger gap now as there ever has been, because maybe the clubs that are able to be in the Premier League year after year are really sustaining themselves in the Premier League, and the gap between money and quality is probably getting bigger. It's a challenge. I think it can be done to be promoted and stay up. I think we've had really good examples of it. I think Brentford's a really good example recently of it. Not the biggest club, and they've done really well with the resources that they've got to have a good manager and a coach first and foremost to get them to find a way to stay in the Premier League. I think that's probably a really good club that you can look at and say they've done that.
And so with 8 games to go, what is the feeling around the club about promotion? Because you're within touching distance.
Within the building, it's not really thought of as that. It was exactly the same last season when we were coming into the final stretch of games. It's so important that you focus on each game, otherwise you get sidetracked, and if you look too far-sighted, you lose sight of what's important, and that's the game in front of you. Do your job for the next game, and then when that one's done, we look and learn from that, and then plan for the next one. That's probably how it's been for the last 2.5 years here, and I think that's probably another reason as to why we've been successful.
Conor Chaplin, thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
My pleasure. All right.